Good morning. It's Laura from McNeely Garden Studios, here to see you Tuesday at 10. And we have a really fun thing to do today. You know that I kind of reserved this space to help women process their life through art. And sometimes it's women specific, but sometimes it's just fun. And sometimes it's just life. And if you have ambitions and hopes and dreams, sometimes you can follow the traditions of other cultures. It's not superstitious, it's just fun. And it's wonderful to know about other people's lives. And today is no different. Today we're going to be talking about the Chinese Lunar New Year, which actually is next Tuesday, but next Tuesday is also Mardi Gras, Fat Tuesday, whatever, and I'll explain all that next week, but it fell on the same day this year. So I decided to kind of break it up. We did Valentine's last week, and we're going to do the Chinese New Year this week, and then we'll do a really cool mask for you to wear next Tuesday night if you go out and do any of those fun things. So we're going to be making a fire horse. This lunar year in the Chinese calendar is the horse. And the way I understand it, I am not an authority on this. I read just like you. I do have some friends that celebrate these things, so I got some information from them as well. But every year they represents a different animal, and it has to do. It's just like astrology, where supposedly there's things that have to do with your birth month or whatever, but I think this has a lot more weight to it. This has been celebrated for eons. But that's neither here nor there. We all read our sign, and we all read all those things. It's just kind of fun. But the year of the horse is a little more of an aggressive year. And you notice I have on all my red. Every year is associated with an element. It can be earth, wind, fire, water, and some others. And like I said, I'm not an authority. But I do have this whole thing written out for you if you're interested. It just has it all written down. And I'm going to read it to you quickly so that you can understand what we're doing today. And it's going to be super fun. It's going to be a mixed media project, and I'm going to tell you where to put it in order to get the most benefit. So this says that the Chinese New Year will welcome the year of the horse, and specifically the dynamic of the fire horse. And it will start on February the 17th, which is next Tuesday. It brings themes of passion, transformation, freedom and ambition. With the fire element, it amplifies the qualities for powerful forward movement and significant life changes. And if you know me, I am primed and ready to do some really great things in 2026. So the fire horse is rare. It only happened, the last time it happened was 60 years ago. So I would say that's probably once in a lifetime. It's a time for quantum leaps and transformative momentum, urging people to act with passion and focus on achieving goals. Now, you can't be reckless. It has to be thought through. And the year is for bold choices, major changes, and breaking old patterns. So here we are at a new beginning of the year. If you if you've already abandoned your New Year's resolutions for 2026, here's your opportunity to let's attack it from a different direction. So ideally, the fire horse is, or just the year of the horse, is in something that is substantial, like wood or ceramic. But since I am not a potter or a carver, we're going to do it in mixed media. And the feng shui of it is important, like where you put it in your space. And we'll talk about that at the end, where to put your horse. So I'm going to just put this over here out of my way. And I do have a bunch of supplies that I'm going to be showing you kind of as we go what I'm using, because it's listing out stuff is kind of boring. I do want to share with you, I'm not drinking tea today. It is kind of a tea, I guess, but it's ginger. It's from the islands, and you can get this with sugar and without sugar, but it's really good, and it's good for your tummy, and it tastes good. So I'm going to swipe back and forth to see we have comments. Good. All right, so I'm going to turn you down here to my table. And so the first thing that we're going to do, if you want this template, certainly just let me know and I'll get it to you. But honestly, you could use any design of a horse. This one just has what I just read you on there so that you would have it all in one place. But you can use any design of a horse. And I would suggest that you either use it, either transfer the design on your light box or window, or you can actually cut it out and trace it. And I would also suggest that sometimes, so you're going to have some this way, and I would suggest turning it over and doing, if you're going to do more than one, then do them so that they face in both directions. That is not totally imperative, but so go ahead and draw it on the on your paper, and this will be the back of your master sheet. Okay. Then we're going to get out, I don't know if you're familiar with all these composite papers, but I have some trays that I have filled just as I had extra paint. I got the paint off on another piece of paper, and I have them sort of in categories of colors. And I just keep them in these little trays just so it's easier for me to manage. But I've got some already done here, but I wanted to show you how to do some of these papers. They're really fun. Any kind of, excuse me, heavily patterned material will work. And as long as you don't use something that's going to run, it needs to be waterproof or whatever. But, you know, this is just corrugated paper and a crayon. And you can go along, do some mindless coloring, which is good for your brain. It's good for to turn the amygdala off, right? And just that simply, I just drew that little thing, colored that little thing, and made it really interesting. Good morning, Sue. Good morning, Debbie. So this is the kind of thing that I fill my trays up with for later. I just do it kind of when I feel like doing it, so that I have a stash for another time. And this is Punchinella. It also that makes a cool design on there as well. That's what they make sequins out of. So see that? So we're going to take our masterboard, and if you have that list of words that I was just talking about, I went ahead and wrote it. I've got my horse drawn on the back. I went ahead and wrote with a Sharpie what the words that I want to use on here. And I have things like bold choices, and the year, and passion, abundance, just different things. And we're just going to start with almost anything. What's fun about this is you don't know where this design is going to show up on your horse. And you can use almost anything that's not going to run. But you get the idea. I am using, this is kind of my dedicated mixed media stuff. I have this brush that I use all the time, and I've been using this E6000 spray. With any kind, it's very liquidy. And with any kind of spray, any kind of sticky stuff that goes through a sprayer, after a while, it just doesn't spray anymore. So I just poured out a little bit on here. And I'm going to go ahead and just kind of put this down. I've got some places that you can use medium for this, acrylic medium. This is some papers that I had already torn and put some gold edges. This made it look very dull, but it will show back up. I love to use tissue paper in my mixed media because it shows underneath what, you know, what's been written underneath or whatever. And you just kind of go along and fill this whole thing up however it is that you want. Now this one I took a little dot and colored around it. I love the rough edges. They make it look so awesome. I do love dots too. Round circles are awesome. I took some regular tissue paper that comes in a gift, and I drew some designs on there. And of course you can go ahead and put paint on here. You can do whatever you want. I'm going to move on and show you some that I already have done. This one, I mean, it has every kind of thing imaginable on there. Layers and layers and layers and layers. And you can just build this up however you want. But this one was the one that I already had my horse drawn on the back. So, and that's the one that came from here. I've got my word of the year on here, the bold choices, ambition 2026. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this out quickly so you can see how we put this together. And this will be a good time for me to explain while I'm cutting this out the Feng Shui of your fire horse. And if you don't know what Feng Shui is, it means how things are placed in your home to allow the energy to flow through in the most effective manner. It helps you feel better. It helps airflow. It's just everything is in balance when you have Feng Shui. I have never lived in a home where I was able to really achieve anything like that because, honestly, true Feng Shui, you're not supposed to have any electric cords or anything like that. And I've never lived in a family that would allow some things like that. So I do the best I can, but it's just sometimes you have to do the most you can, but be happy with that. So, all right, so we're doing little legs. And so this says that it should be positioned, you know, of course, it's supposed to be made of ceramic or wood, so it says on a desk. I am going to put mine on, if you look behind me, I have my my reindeer, my Christmas reindeer on the door, and that happens to be the exact right position. So it needs to be facing into the room on the south or southeast or east area of your home or office, depending on where you spend the most time and where you're looking for this energy to bless you, okay? I always save these little extra pieces too. Everything ends up in my art somewhere. So it can be in your office or home and wherever you want positive energy. It says avoid clutter so that the energy has room to move in your room and thrive. And I also thought it was very interesting, like I just said, balance is very important. It said to pair this with water. And of course, you know that I have plants in my office, and I'm propagating some plants over there. And of course, I always have water because I'm a watercolorist and I always have my... So I think that's going to work out nicely. I love this little guy's face. He has such a cute little lips. And then down to his chin, jowl here. And I'm going to show you something really interesting, how I did his mane and tail. It really kind of deserved something special. I wasn't exactly sure what to do, but then it hit me. So I'm going to finish cutting this out. I want to take a moment to thank you guys for always coming on Tuesday at 10. It's always my pleasure to have something fun and interesting to share with you, something fun to do. But it's really my goal to help you sort out your life and some of the things that drag you down. You know, I want you to have ways to sort things out. Some strategies, so to speak, I guess. All right, and so this is the fun part. You turn it over and you see what you got. And I see that this one could use a little bit more. There we go. A little more stickum. Okay. So we're going to put his little legs on. And I'm just going to use regular glue for that. And of course, one is on one side of his body and one is on the other side of his body. If you wanted to, you could see what sort of works best. Like I think I want to put this one in the front because it's got that swirl. Yeah, we'll do that. All right. So I'm going to put this one on the back. I'm going to kind of angle it out because I want him to look like he's really running. And then you can go back and, like I did with this one, and line some things, put some more gold or colors or whatever you want on there. I've got you turned down so I can't see your comments just yet, but I'll look in just a moment. So if you know anything about horses, they have a lead change, and this one has both both legs on one side are going in the same direction, or going at the same time. And one of them is canter, and one of them is something else. I don't know. I can't remember. But look that up. That's interesting information. It's called lead change. All right. So I have this really small hole punch, and I'm going to show you. See what a tiny hole that makes? So I'm going to use that in his little mane. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. See that? So I'm going to go down the line here. I'm going to give him like some bangs first. And I'm just going to I'm going to go in on the inside. And what I mean by the inside is like that. You could also use this to make a hole to hang him up if you want to. So we've got holes, and then I'm going to take this and cut it at an angle. So he looks like he's had a really cool hairdo. Maybe like his mane is braided. Makes an interesting shape. And of course we have to do it on the tail as well. You see? And those things stay in here just like any other hole punch. I will take those out and save them also, if you can believe it. Since I've got turquoise on there, I'm going to use turquoise to put his eye. And we're going to kind of come up here, give him an ear and the neck. And I think the eye will go around here. And I'm going to make it kind of large because when that dries, I'm going to come back with some gold or some white and put the glint of his eye in there. And there you have your little fire horse. Isn't that awesome? If you want this pattern, just let me know and I'll send it to you. It's got all the, like, where to put it on the southeast edge or whatever. But let me get a sip of my tea. So, but I wanted to tell you, I wanted to show you also something that's coming up March the 10th. I mean, literally 30 days from today. It is really, it's coming up. I haven't even, nobody has signed up for it yet. I just want you to know about it, that it's coming. And it will be ready for Easter for those people who are Christians, and that's what your focus is on. That's certainly what my focus is on. But I want you to notice something besides the fact that it's an Easter symbol. Notice the fact that the central shape divides this whole space into different regions. And like two directions meeting in one place, think of it as a meeting of your inner and outer worlds. And since this is kind of the concept that I do, I hope women, process their lives through art. And we don't just do art. We talk about things that affect us. And just because this is a recognizable design does not mean that is what we're going to talk about in this workshop. We're going to be, you notice with a regular set of watercolor, none of these colors are in this watercolor. So I'm going to teach you how to color mix these neutrals, muted, beautiful colors, and get this feeling, because this is a whole different feeling than for instance this. This is much more bright and aggressive, where this is much softer. Anyway, that's coming up on March the 10th. I just want to keep reminding you guys that it's coming, and it's going to be a really fun time. I've got a really interesting thing to share with you. But save this video for later so you can make yourself a fire horse. And comment anytime you want to direct message me. You're welcome to do that. I answer questions all the time. I get questions all the time. I know, things come along sometimes and people are like, do you work all the time? And I'm like, yeah, but I love it. I love it. That's what I love to do. I love to help people and take care of people. Oh, Sharon's here. Hello. You like the pattern, Laurie? Good morning, Laurie. You like it too, Sharon? Very nice to see you. Yep. The year of the horse. It is. It is. And let me see. Anybody? Everybody's sleepy today. Hello, Sarah. Good, Sue. All right. And good morning, Mel Scott. Very good. Okay, so I'll be happy to get this pattern out to those of you who want it. And I'm going to show you right here. I haven't taken my Christmas deer down because I hadn't made my horse yet, and that's where it needs to go, facing into my office. I have all this space clear so my energy will flow, and I'm feeling pretty good for 2026. How about you? I couldn't do it without you. Thank you so much. And when you get your horses done, I want to see them. I want to see them, okay? All right. You have a wonderful day. Thanks so much for coming. I'm Laura from McNeely Garden Studios, and I'll see you next week. We'll be making Mardi Gras masks, okay? Thanks. Bye.